Greetings, my champions of the light, and welcome to Oathbound, the classic challenge where we must reach level 60 while only doing battle with worthy foes. And by worthy foes, I mean we can only do battle with orange level enemies, creatures at least 3 levels higher than ourselves. And all the while, we must maintain our sacred oath. We must ignore lesser creatures. We can only fight worthy foes. And as a paladin of the holy light, we must never bring dishonor to ourselves. Good to see you again, my friends. We finished our last adventure by training at the Cathedral of Light, where we trained new spells like Lay on Hands, which are sure to keep us alive in this adventure today. However, my friends, before we return, I'd quite like to purchase this bold yellow shirt. Sure, it costs 36 silvers, but I sure do like the yellow. It contrasts well with the blue cloak, and after all, blue and yellow are the colors of the Alliance. I open my mailbox and have no fear, my friends. All of the copper ore I had sold since the last adventure more than makes up for the coin that I spent on that bold yellow shirt. Finally, my friends, we make our way to Westfall. And what do you know, our first briar thorn. I wonder how much coin these devilish thorns will be worth on the auction house. And swift thistle too, this could be quite a lucrative day. Now, my friends, as I am level 10, I should probably get started on that Defias pillager quest. Now, these pillagers are level 14 and 15. But if you notice, my friends, many of the looters are only level 13. And like in our last adventure, I don't want these smugglers to be out-leveled, causing another fiasco. So I am going to get ahead of the quest this time, and I make my way to the town of Moonbrook. Now, my friends, I am sure to find Defias pillagers, and many Defias looters in town. After all, it is located right beside the dead mines. Some of you, my friends, doubted your fellow crusader. Supposedly, these pillagers are quite dangerous. But I find that these pillagers, well, let's just say, they seem to have some line of sight issues due to their long fireball cast. So much so that I am even able to do battle with both level 14 and even level 15 Defias pillagers, despite being only level 10. That's right, my friends, by simply line of sighting the cast, I can slowly whittle away at the Defias pillagers' health. Providing I can evade their fireball attacks, I am generally quite safe. But sometimes, my friends, I do get unlucky. Thank goodness for that Lay on Hands ability, for I would have surely perished against these fiery fiends. And what do you know, another briarthorn, and it even has a swift thistle. How lucrative. And with the Defias pillagers cleared away, I can finally engage the looters in combat by luring them away from the rest of the bandits. I have no problem in taking them down. Suddenly, my friends, I see a player in need. A human paladin, a paladin much like myself, and so with their health low and depleted, I jump to the defense, taking on a Defias looter. But not before I'm forced to activate my protection spell, as they do just the same, forcing the devastatingly high-level bandits to attack me instead. And they don't even appear to be grateful, not even a slash tie. And then I come across the Zario version of a Defias pillager, who continually baits me out into the open where I get a few fireballs to the face. And it's not long before I have to retreat, as the respawns of these pillagers can be quite dangerous for a paladin like me. Although I can line them sight one perfectly fine, as soon as you add another one into the mix, it gets quite spicy. But there's nothing quite like the feeling of forcing a infamously dangerous creature 5 levels higher than yourself to walk into melee range so that you can finish it up. But that doesn't mean we don't have to use every spell in our arsenal just to survive. And then, my friends, I believe I discover what can only be described as a safe spot. You see, my friends, if you stand in this quite peculiar place, it causes Defias pillagers to not only stop casting, but it also seems to confuse them quite a lot. And so remember this location, my friends. as rather than being run out of town and risking a fireball to the rear, you could simply stand here and not only pillagers but also looters will simply be unable to attack you, and even give up. Anyway, Brian Stoutmantle offers me 6 silvers and a healthy dose of experience points, and even gives me the follow-on bandit killing quest. But I visit Farmer Saldine, who asks me to defeat 20 harvest watchers. Before that, however, I hand in a recipe to Salma Saldine and pick up both Westfall stew and Gortusk liver pie, 2 quests that will require me to do battle with multiple animals. Which, my friends, if you remember, I actually already have collected quite a few of these reagents on our last couple adventures. I make it all the way over to the Furlbrows, but then I suddenly realize that I probably should not hand over these quests. Not just yet anyway, as some of these Harvest Watchers are level 14, and already a third of the way to level 12. I don't want to level and have those level 14 Harvest Watchers become yellow level enemies. And so, my friends, I spend quite a bit of time back at the Saldine's farm doing battle against these robotic fiends. But that doesn't mean it's easy, my friends. There's no kiting these harvest watchers behind a wall or a pillar, and I have to make sure that I always have my healing potion on hand just in case. I'm even able to collect all of the ochre for the Westfall stew quest. As it turns out, some of the ochre had got trapped in the grinding gears of these harvest watchers. Eventually, I run out of harvest watchers in the Saldine's farm, so I make my way over to the Molson farm nearby, where there are a multitude of harvest watchers ready for me to do battle with. And after collecting many reagents like hops and flasks of oil, which will surely be helpful for a future quest, I do a spot of mining, and it is at this moment, my friends, I noticed some level 14 flesh rippers on the horizon. Now, my crusaders, I don't know if flesh rippers go higher level than level 14 in Westfall, so I had best take a moment to attempt to collect the last stringy vulture meat from one of these flying fiends. I am successful, and I even find another Briarthorn, and it is at this point, my friends, I notice some level 14 Gortusk. Perhaps while I'm here, I could collect the last couple of Gortusk livers for the Gortusk liver pie. I had already acquired 6 of 8 of them, simply by doing battle with boars in the last couple episodes. I don't find much luck, but I am led to the Alexton farmstead, which it does indeed also have its own batch of harvest watchers. Then, my friends, while I am enjoying my ice-cold milk and freshly baked bread, I notice something on the horizon. A grey harvest watcher. It doesn't look quite right. It's ever so slightly larger than the others, and then I discover why. To my horror, a Foal Reaper 4000, a level 20 rare harvest watcher that would surely bring an end to my life. And that's all I need to see to retreat and return to the Molson farm, where I just so happen to collect my last Gortusk liver and complete the challenge of defeating 20 of these harvest watchers. I return to Salma Saldine and hand over the 8 Gortusk livers for some pie and a healthy dose of experience points. I let Farmer Saldine know that I absolutely annihilated those robotic monstrosities, and he gives me over 1,000 experience points. And then, my friends, I return to the Furlbrows, and it turns out the XP rewarded by that oat collecting quest is very lucrative indeed, as I am now level 12. Farmer Furlbrow is also happy to receive his pocket watch, and restocks my supply of bread and milk, and even grants me some additional XP. But what do you know, I've just realized, my friends, that I am level 12, and I have completely forgotten to select any sort of talent points. Now, my friends, I don't really know what to do, and I need your guidance. I do prefer wielding a two-handed weapon, but as a low-level paladin that always has to fight off orange-level enemies, which talents do you think would be most useful for me? I'll leave that up to you, my crusaders. Finally, I return to Stormont City, where I vendor my junk and auction some supplies. And what do you know, Briarthorn goes for almost 6 silvers each. But that's not the surprising thing, As it turns out, Swift Thistle goes for a whopping 70 silver coins each. I can get over 2 gold just for auctioning 3 of them. That's actually insane. And then I discover something even more strange. For some unknown reason, Coyote Meat goes for a whopping 90 silver each. Make it make sense, guys. I have no idea why that is the case, but if one of you has an idea, please let me know. And with Murloc actually so cheap, I decide just to buy 3 of them, so that I have all the reagents for the Westfall Stew quest, sparing me a untimely demise at the hands of the Murlocs. I even decide to purchase Captain Sanders' treasure map at a whopping 1.5 gold, but I'm sure to find a lot of experience if I take on this quest. I had wanted to do this quest train on St. Scorp, but there simply wasn't one available on the auction house, and we will surely do this quest in the next episode. I travel to Lord Grayson Shadowbreaker, where he kindly trains me an upgrade on my Blessing of Might spell, which I keep active at all times during combat, and also a upgrade on Seal of the Crusader. And so my friends, thank you very much for watching another of these adventures. If you enjoyed this, please consider subscribing, and always remember, light be with you.